Okay, Assalamualaikum. I Muhammad Yusuf. Today I want to explain about introduction. Okay, introduction. Uh, our chemical plants process obviously need cooling system, which require immerse of a lot of water supply, such as a sea or river. The location of our chemical plant is near to the sea and easily to flow water into the pipelines for ethanol process. Other, water is raw material. It is important of water because the water molecules contain H2O to produce ethanol from ethane and release O2 at the air. It also functioned to launch any type of equipment using water, such as distillation column, heat exchanger, and more. Water also cheap and can usable for other processes for generate the whole systems. In addition, ethanol is non-toxic and biodegrade and it quickly break down into harmless substance in spill. Chemical denaturants are added to ethanol to make fuel ethanol, and many denaturants are toxic. The effect can cause decrease of gas CO2 emission released into the air. Ethanol also can reduce pollution is because the mixture of reactants like gasoline have higher octane level than pure gasoline, but they also have high evaporative emissions from fuel tank and dispensing equipment. These evaporative emissions contribute to the formation of harmful ground-level ozone and smoke. Hence, our chemical plants also need power supply such as electricity to launch every equipment for complete the process. At our site selection, there are easily to find the power supply because our site is near to the residential and the power supply is enough to launch the whole plants. That's all for me. Thank you.
So, okay, I will start. So, about the location of the plant. So, we decided to build our ethanol plant at Pengarang Johor. Okay, so Pengarang Johor is about the acres. And the land area suggested for the ethanol plant is about 40 acres. 40 acres. And we selected this land of 70 acres. So, this is 20 acres. Okay, that because it's suitable for ethanol plant. Because the suitable for ethanol plant is more than 40 acres. Okay, the next is the facilities nearby. So this is about facilities nearby. Later, I'm going to show you the clearer one on the Google Earth. Okay, so and this is the realistic image of this land near to the road and river as what no river but sea as water supply. Okay, so this is the Google Earth. Okay, as you can see, this is our land. Okay, this is our land. This is our land, and around the land, as you can see, around the land is many facilities and buildings. Okay, so is the proof, as a proof that our land is as an industrial land. Okay, and the most important in this is the sea, which there's a sea that can supply our plant with water. And if I zoom in, okay, if I zoom in, as you can see, if I zoom in, there's a Pengarang Health Clinic and also the school and pejabat post and magistrate court and others that are important and the important facilities, okay, to the workers. Okay, so I think that's all about our plant location. Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a good day to Miss Nurkam Rosita. My name is Nur Fakia binti Azmi. Today I will present on plant layout. So basically this is our group plant layout. Our plant layout is about 50 acres, which is about 202,342.821 square meters. So let's proceed to our plan layout. First, we choose to draw administration block far from the manufacturing plant because to provide a safer place for work and to give a quiet environment for them. Because as we know that manufacturing plant produce many sound that can disturb an administration, work. Next, for manufacturing plant, we have a control room, which is very important for plant, which is a control for the process that have in the plant. Next, we draw utilities block near to the manufacturing plant to minimize the piping, and that will minimize the cost. Then we choose to store our finished product in a warehouse which is near to manufacturing plant, that is between the facilities for loading and unloading and next to the process unit. Last but not least, for chemical and spare, we want to store in a warehouse, and we try to store it far from the plant because to avoid any other chemical reaction, side reaction that we don't want that happen to the plant. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Miza Karina Betizabri. I want to explain the site selection factor and justification. First, transportation. Transport facilities is important for the exportation of the product to the customer since the huge demand of the ethanol and to obtain the raw material from the supplier. Pengerang is located near to the international airport, which is International Airport Sultan Ismail. The distance is 109 kilometers. Our product can be exported easily to the international market because the facilities in Pengerang is very good. Street transportation is increasingly being used as the principal transportation for the local distribution from a central warehouse. From our survey, there are a lot of ways around the location, such as Jalan Kota Tinggi, Jalan Tanjung Merak, and so on. Highway also important because it can save costs in supplying the product to the buyer and supply the raw material. For example, Pengerang Highway is a federal highway that runs from the Kota Tinggi to Sungai Regi, Malaysia. We must consider nearest port in our company to allow the lower shipping. For example, Tanjung Pelepas Port, Johor Port, and Tanjung Lesat Port. It can be concluded that the shipping of materials to and from plant will be everyday attention in site selection. The second one is the raw material availability. The raw material is very important to ensure that the desired product can be produced at the required amount based on the production rate and demand. Thus, the plant being constructed supposed to be located near the raw material supplier to reduce the transportation and storage costs. Well, from our survey, Pengerang Refinery company Sedia Berhad is near with our location, which is 8.3 kilometers, and it will lower the cost supplying the raw material, which is ethylene. We can reduce fuel. The naphtha cracker produces 1.2 million tons per year of the ethylene. The other ethylene supplier is Lotte Chemicals Titan Sedia Berhad.
To another two factors, which is water supply and market. For the water supply, certain industries use large quantities of water for cooling, washing, steam generation, and as a raw material in the process. For our plant, it deals with the exchanger, separator, and so on. Hence, the plant must be located where a dependent supply of water is available. Raw water from river or lake is brought in to make up for losses in the steam and cooling water systems, and is also treated to generate demineralized and deionized water for process use. Water is also used for process cleaning operations and to supply fire hydrants. For our plant, we can take water supply from two major rivers flowing into the Johor Straits, which is Sungai Johor on the east and Sungai Pulau on the west. Water depths in the Johor Strait range for a few meters along the boundaries to about 10 to 20 meters along the center of the Johor Strait, and the width varies from about 0.5 to 2 kilometers, including the tidal flats on both sides of the Johor Strait. There are also water supply from Belungko Services Sedia Berhad, which is located only kilometers away from our site and took about 10 minutes only to arrive. So, with the short distance and strategic location of our water processing plant, give us advantage in supplying fresh water to the needy sheets anchored at a nearby location. By using a high pressure pump, which is capable to pump about 100 tons per hour and can be improved up to 200 tons per hour, give a faster and easier way to supply fresh water within 24 hours notice. Other than that, in Pengerang also have local control LCB raw water treatment Pengerang, which is the distance of the locations is only 10.5 kilometers away from our site. There are also a lot of pipeline regarding on supplying raw water to Petronas, where related to the project Air Mentah Rapid Palmer that has commenced raw water supply from the Seliut Dam to Johor State Sungai Lebang Reservoir. From our survey, we found that the Palmer will provide a total of 260 million liters per day of raw water, so it can also be one of the water supply to our ethanol plant. To our next factor, which is the market. Plant location must be near a market. Nearness of the market ensures transportation costs less and minimum wastage. The global fuel ethanol market is expected to reach USD 122.35 billion by 2026, according to a new report by Reports and Data. This can be mainly contributed by the rapid replacement of leaded fuel with ethanol additive in the expensive feedstock available, rise in crude oil costs, increasing concerns regarding greenhouse emissions, and government investment and intensive to produce ethanol. The global fuel ethanol market was estimated at USD 64.52 billion in 2016. The application of fuel and fuel additive are the higher ranking instead of another applications with a market share of 43.2% of 2019. It means that the production ethanol is very demand in the application of fuel in the world. Among them, automotive accounted for the largest share of the market in 2017. This mainly due to vast use of the ethanol in manufacturing and an alternative fuel on account of growing concerns of the vehicular pollution caused by the crude-based fuel. The rising demand for the conventional fuel vehicles in nearest countries, towns or cities like Singapore, Pasir Gudang and so on is expected to boost the consumption of ethanol fuel in the coming years. The location of markets or intermediate distribution centers affect the cost of production and the time required for shipping. It gives an advantage to the buyer to purchase from nearby sources. There are a lot of ethanol buyers that use ethanol as a raw material to produce hand sanitizers. In 2020, the COVID-19 virus pandemic, this virus is spreading easily. Therefore, the demand for hand sanitizer is constantly increasing, and even in many places, there is a shortage. It can be concluded that the overall global ethanol market is foreseen to increase. That's all for me. Thank you.